To start right on time. And I really hope when I'm going to share, it's just nothing that's come from me. It's come from reading. It's from Scripture. It's from great teachers. The greatest teacher I ever had, my mom and dad taught me lots of character. My mom and dad. My father was a genius. He was a chemist and had a very, very high IQ. I always wanted to be like him. My dad was so much fun. He loved people. He was very giving. I just wanted to learn. I haven't got it all by a long shot, but you're just working at things like that. But my dad died unsaved. I got saved. We never heard the gospel, Roman Catholic, so I never had the opportunity ever to witness to my father. And that was probably my greatest drudgery. I won my mom to Christ 28 hours before she died. I literally on her deathbed, praying for her over 30 years. And the last time I witnessed to my mom, Roman Catholic, she said, if you ever talk, you know how you just know this is the night she's going to get saved. This is it. I just know it. Dr. Curtis Hudson had just preached in our pastor's school on a Thursday night. I drove from Hammond, where our church is, one town over to my hometown, Whiting, Indiana, and I went up there with just, Holy Spirit, fill me, use me, speak through me, please. This is it. This is it. I started witnessing to her, and she said, if you ever do this again, get out of here and don't you ever come back. And I remember driving home sobbing uncontrollably that my mother's unsaved and now I'm going to be thrown out of my house. I was excommunicated from the Catholic Church when I got married at First Baptist Church, February the 15th, 1965. And in turn, most of my family didn't speak to me for 17 years. Don't give up on people. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. Because there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. In the Bible, Dorothy and the Wizard no. My grandson embarrassed me so badly when he was 5 years old. I was reading Bible stories from a Bible story book that we got at our bookstore, and I was reading all the different stories. He started mixing things up. And his sister, who's younger than him, named Mia, and he's Landon. And Landon said, Mia, Nana told me in the book of Pinocchio. And my son is listening to this, my influence on my grandchild. Do you know what happened to him when he lied? In the book, it tells his nose grew. And I said, and Justin said, Mom, I said, I did not teach him that. I promise you I didn't. Kids pick up a lot, don't they? They're precious little critters. And there's no place like home. So I just kept talking to my mom and loving her. That's the greatest thing you can do to people, by the way, in the home fort. You have unsaved loved ones, just keep loving them. And they turn against you, just keep sending gifts. My family are all here in Southern California. This is not where we're from. We're from Indiana, but they've migrated out here through job placements and things like this. I have over 30 relatives down in Yorba Linda, the hills of Yorba Linda, Anaheim, Temecula, Fullerton, California. That's where most of my family is right now. My own daughter is in Moore Park, California. And I'll tell you, when I got saved, it was bad news. Bad news. And to them. Well, I just kept loving them. Just kept loving. I'd send gifts to my brother in California. He'd send the checks back to me ripped up. And the gifts came back. Everything just kept coming back. And it broke my heart because he was my buddy. My father died very unexpected when I was 17 years old of a massive heart attack. And so he became like a father figure to me. He's 12 years older than me, my brother Jim. And I'll never forget the things that went on about my home. Your home can sometimes have some real heartaches, too. You just keep loving them. If I could ever say anything, trust me, believe me, believe me, believe me. The Bible says it over and over and over and over and over and over again. All the different things. Where is my Bible? I have a pink Bible that I knew I had here. Oh, it's probably in my bag. Did I get concerned? Because I cherish my Bible, and this one's a very special Bible. I love what it says in the Bible. Ephesians 4, and this is Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29, 30, 31, and 32. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good, to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Listen, Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. I love this. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. Isn't that good? The scripture has every answer in it. I love when the trips to California. This particular trip, I spent a lot of time just trying to witness to people, pass out tracts. A lot of times I'll take that time. Does anyone have a bobby pin? This may sound so funny. I am perspiring so badly that my hair is going down in my eye. Thank you so much for giving up your bobby pin. Just for that, what can I do? I know. I'd like to do this. My husband always, he says things like this that make such sense. JoJo, before you get everything away, pay for it. I have a tendency of ordering books and then giving them. JoJo, could we pay for them first? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll give you a copy of my book free. So anyone else have a bobby pin? No. I'll give you my teeth. I'll give you anything, But I really like you to have. I bought the green book. The other two are being reprinted. And then the new book. Wait till you see the new book. Yes. I hope I live to finish it. If not, his new wife, she'll be a short, cute blonde with a southern accent. I don't know why I always think of that. I asked him one day, have you ever thought about when I die? He says, I don't even like to go there. I said, well, did you ever think about it? Because I can just picture this cute little short blonde. Are you from the South, anyone who's short, cute, and blonde? You're here, I know it. And I picture her. I really do. And people say, have you given up at the fact that when you die, your husband will remarry? I don't want him unhappy, but maybe just for a short while. But, like 50 years or something, But, no, I understand that he'd need to remarry someday. Anyway, but I picture having fun. I said, she'll be short, cute, blonde, with a southern accent, of course. And the southern people, folks, there's something about them. They're wonderful. I mean, if they're saying something mean, well, darling, I hate you. I hate you with a purple passion. God bless you. That's how they talk. So I picture her, looking out my kitchen window at my swimming pool that we have paid off. And it was supposed to be a teardrop. Isn't that nice? Out my kitchen window, an in-ground pool. We have many children, grandchildren. And we dress very appropriate when we swim. You may think it's weird, but we wear culottes. We really do. I want to go to my death holding my standards high. And that's just me. Our neighbor got saved because of my culottes. He saw me sitting in the pool. He goes, weren't you just at the grocery store, JoJo? I said, it's an all-purpose dress, John. I swim, I do everything in it, and he got saved. And it's just a sweet story. So anyway, I picture him, and they're putting in the pool, right? And my husband says, we're going to have this because of the children. And it's home. I'm talking about home. We want it to be a homey place, JoJo. It's 10-foot depth. It has 20 by 40 foot, big, 2 diving boards, 1 spring-loaded, 1 stable, and it's water slide. It's wonderful. I hardly ever get in it time-wise, but once in a while I'll go and sit, read, that type of thing. And I just picture, there's my swimming pool. As they're putting in this teardrop, I'm watching it. That's not a teardrop. It ended up being a kidney. I have a kidney disease. I'm looking out at this kidney every day. I'm thinking, and I just picture this cute little short blonde looking out at that kidney and saying to Roy, oh, brother husband. That's what they call my husband, Brother Moffitt. Oh, brother husband, we wouldn't have all this if JoJo hadn't died. Because my insurance money, I thought, would pay off everything, So I decided that I was going to be stuffed over the fireplace. Like this. Because I want her to remember me, You have memories, and I'm teasing about all that. I really am. But the thing about it is the family is so important by not giving up hope and not giving up on the family. And you're going to have heartaches. You're not going to have, there's no such thing as perfect family, perfect children, perfect husband, perfect wife. Girls, I work on my marriage every day. I think about him. I plan for him. I pray for him. I do for him in our home. How could I not love him? I mean it. I have goosebumps right now. I don't know what that means. Does anybody know what that means? When I say something that touches me, I get goosebumps. Is that mental illness? And but I get goosebumps. And about Roy, this morning he's called me twice. I can't call back. I'm in sessions. So he's going to be real excited to talk to me, or real mad. No, he's going to be excited to talk to me. I know he is. And I look forward to that. My brother just kept loving him. After a while, he was tricked into coming to my house by my mother. Mothers give in quicker. And the night we got married at First Baptist Church, no one came. 2 aunts, 2 uncles, my husband, his mom, his dad. The people that were standing up for me, they were told they'd be excommunicated if they stood up. So I didn't have anyone to stand up for me. And the religion was very tense back in the 60s, especially when you were a Catholic and going into a different church. So it was really strange. I mean, that night, it wasn't like anything you ever planned. Do you know what I'm saying? But I was loving Roy. I love Roy Moffitt, and I'm marrying him. I'll never forget it as long as I live. But we just kept loving him and loving him and loving him and loving him. And my mom tricked him when he was in town. He needed something done at his house. He moved to California, selling his house. He needed repaired. My mother called my husband. My brother said, Mom, can you help me get someone to fix the house? She didn't tell him who was doing it. My husband is an excellent builder. And he's a associate pastor of our church, but he's a builder too. And he can do anything. He really can. And so she called him. He said, sure. He fixed the roof. He repaired the bathroom. He did the floor. He painted. He put new railings in. I mean, roofing. You name it. And my brother called and she said, it's all done. Ready to sell. And he said, how much do I owe? And my husband said to my mother, no charge. No charge. No charge. When she told him that, he said, who would ever do something like that? She said, your brother-in-law, Roy, that you don't talk to, you have nothing to do with. He came into town. She tricked him to come into our house. I had for years. I'm teaching you something if you're catching it. People, when you have people diversion in your family, just keep praying for them, directing people, your children, to love them, to pray for them. My children never saw my family. Most of them, they weren't allowed to. My brother especially. I just kept showing them pictures. This is Uncle Jim. This is Aunt Lynn. We love them very, very much. Someday we're going to see them. Oh, God, please let that happen. This is Uncle Jim. This is Aunt Lynn. Let's pray for them. And when he showed up at our door, tricked to coming by my mother, eating out by my house, and I want you to meet somebody, Jim. I want somebody to come and see somebody. And when I opened the door, my kids were upstairs, came running down the stairs. Uncle Jim, Mom said you were going to come someday. Mom said you were going to come someday, and hugged him. He did not know how to respond. Guess when he comes to town where he stays now? Guess who loans their car out? It's not a new car by any means, but it's a car that runs. It's an HHR Chevy 2009. And I had that car, by the way, because of trauma. I needed a car, had to be paid off, and payments kill you, don't they? And my husband was in a very major car accident on the Dan Ryan Expressway. A lady turned in front of him. My husband hit her car, coming to get me at an airport, like a meeting like now, coming on Saturday. My husband's car hit her car. My husband's car flipped upside down, was skidding upside down on the Dan Ryan. You have to understand, it's huge expressways with trucks and semis coming all ways. And he could hear the iron and the metal scraping on the bottom of the Dan Ryan, the roadway. He was waiting for it to hit and explode. He was awake. He's hanging upside down, if you can imagine this. You have to picture the rest. They come, the trauma team, to get him. And here, and they say, is it a fatality? Is it a fatality? All they could see was my husband's legs hanging out the thing, because he had on the strap himself. And he went back in to see he dropped his glasses. He's crawling into this car upside down, totally demolished, trying to find his glasses. In the meantime, he found change that fell on the ground. So he's taking the change, putting it in his pocket. So much a Moffitt, you're not going to lose this. Every penny counts. And climbed out. They put him in the unit, took him to the hospital, into the trauma unit at Northwestern Hospital, a special unit at the emergency room. Now I'm at the airport, landing, waiting for him to pick me up, and I get this call from my son, Justin. Mom, this is Justin. We have a little situation that I need you to know. I'm on my way to pick you up at the airport, but I don't know what airport you're at. And I thought, what in the world? I said, Roy always picks me up. Lord willing, he'll be there tomorrow. He'll be there with Dunkin' Donut coffee. Do you have Dunkin' Donuts here? You do have Dunkin' Donuts? Do you really? Where? Between Hershey's, Dunkin' Donuts, and Pepsi, I can live. I love their pumpkin spice. But now they stopped it. So now it's toffee nut, buttery toffee nut. Oh, you say, don't, it's not good for you. They say you're going to die from something. I'm still living, so I'm just going to keep drinking my coffee. I'm okay. Well, anyway, this all happened, and Justin says, Mom, I'm on my way out to an airport. I said, what do you mean you don't know what airport I'm at, Justin? And what's going on? He said, Mom, Dad's been in a serious accident, a turnover on the Dan Ryan by the Sears Willis Tower, they call it now, or something else, and they have changed it. And he said, and he's on his way in the ambulance. I said, how is Dad? He said, we have no idea his condition, Mom. And I went, oh, you're kidding me. When something like that happens to you in your home, don't you just kind of lock up and freeze? You ever had a trauma in your family? You just freeze. You like freeze, like you can't move. You can't move. I couldn't move. I couldn't think. And I said, oh, God above, help me. Help me. And I have my bag and my books I'm carrying and my purse and my satchel with my notes, and I'm frozen. And Justin said, Mom, get into a cab and get to the hospital. I said, don't you come to get me. I'll come to you. He says, take a cab. I said, it's too expensive. I'll take a bus. I'm always on a bus, a bus cab. And he said, Mom, take a cab. Take a cab. I said, okay. I don't even know where the cabs are. His Mom, there's colored lines. You'll see. And they teach you, follow the lines. They'll take you outside and get into a cab. He says, I'll pay for it. I went, oh, yeah, right. The kid, I'm sure, has $10 in his pocket, and he's going to pay for my taxi. I got into the cab, frozen. And I said, sir, I need your help. I need to get to Northwestern Hospital fast. Would you help me? And he said, what's this about? And I said, my husband was in an accident. He said, on the Dan Ryan? I said, yes. He said, the jaws of life are on their way right now. It's on the radio. They don't know if it's a fatality or not, meaning he's alive or dead. And right away, the tears just started coming down my face. And I thought, oh, God, it's Moffitt and Moffitt. It's a team. Please take care of him. Please spare him. Would you spare him? Please, God. My husband probably is the most productive soul winner at First Baptist Church to this day. He's right at this moment teaching the Fisherman's Club. He's going to be out all afternoon soul winning. He did a funeral yesterday. I know people got saved at the funeral. I mean, he's like a funeral evangelist. I mean, he'll win people to Christ. If I'm with him, when I'm with him, and I'll start talking to somebody, and he'll actually lead them to Christ. I said, do I get an assist on that in heaven? In other words, as he gets, the rewards, he goes, you get an assist, JoJo. And we'll just have fun with it. Well, that particular day, I was just froze. And I said to the man, please get me there quickly. And he said, they could be a fatality. I said, I know. I said, but this is my husband, and he's in God's hands. You understand, sir? I said, if my husband died, he's going to heaven, or he's in heaven right now, and I'm going to join him someday. And he said, how can you believe like that? The taxi cab driver. I said, because one day I put my faith and trust in Jesus Christ, and I'm not going to hell. You have a choice to heaven. And I pray every day, God, put the very people in my path that I might help. Please, God, don't let me walk by somebody and miss them. Who would you help if you're here, Jesus? Please use me. Wouldn't that be a good prayer? How can I walk and not talk to this man, or sit and not talk to him? We're driving, and I said, sir, my husband's in heaven if he's gone. And he said, how can you believe that way? That's how my wife believed. I said, she believed? He said, my wife died last week. He said, I own this taxi cab service. I don't drive. I don't even know why I did it today, and I get you. He said, but there's a reason, right? I said, absolutely. He said, I just needed to keep my mind occupied. And I said, sir, tell me about your wife. He said, she believed just like you. He said, but I don't believe that way. I said, you mean you don't want to see her again? He goes, of course I want to see her again. I said, how did your wife die? He said, I killed her. So now I am in a car with a killer. What would you say next? I said, really? How did you kill her? I don't know. Why did I ask that? I don't know. He said, I gave her Coumadin. It's a blood thinner. But it's what the doctor ordered. I said, I have a home care nurse that came in and administered the medicine. I said, you didn't kill your wife. God chose her. He said, I didn't kill her. I said, did you give her the prescribed? Yeah, it was in a little vials. I gave her what she's supposed to have. I said, it was her time. She's in heaven and she's waiting for you. He goes, I want to see my wife. I said, I want you to see your wife. And I don't know how you could even see. He was driving. We're both crying away. And I said, would you like to trust? I sure would. I went through the Romans road, how he could know for sure. I said, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. He goes, oh, this is so good. I'm so glad we met today. And I said, why don't you bow your head right now? No, don't bow your head. Don't bow your head. And this is a story that reminds me of home, because I was rooting for my husband, believe me. And that man asked Jesus Christ to save him. He said whatever became of him. 2 weeks later, he showed up at First Baptist Church of Hammond, Indiana. And by the way, when I got to the hospital, it was a trauma unit. You'd have to understand our lives. We cause trauma. We are there. My husband, I could hear, my son came out to meet me. It's a circular drive at Northwestern. He came to meet me because I had all this junk, my stuff, my bag, and my books aren't junk, but other junk I had. And he came out to get my stuff, and he was supposed to have the money, right? He never tried to pay his $10. It was more than that. And so he said, and the man's crying, just crying uncontrollably. And my son said, what did you do to him? I said, he killed his wife last week, and now he's going to heaven to meet her. He goes, of course. Why would I even question this? He just couldn't understand. When I got in there, my husband was on a gurney. He had this big thing of makeup in his car, huge thing of makeup. You've seen it with all the different makeups and all the different blushes and everything like that. And somehow, when they retrieved what little they retrieved of my husband's, they brought that makeup out of this smashed car. It was a giveaway at one of his ladies' outreach, ladies' sewing meetings. He was giving away as a contest prize. So when I got there, I could hear him talking. Well, we just started witnessing to people. We had people getting saved. You wouldn't have believed it. You would not have believed it. My husband had one little tiny nick in his head here. One little tiny nick. That's all he had. And that was so precious. He's finally released, and he got to go in, because he's on clergy, he got to go in rooms where people were saying, you folks are so happy, and you look where you are. You're bringing such joy in this area. And, it was just a blessing. He lost his shirt, but they didn't take his pants, thank goodness. But he had his T-shirt. He lost our car, but my car got paid off totally, because when he bought his car new, it was dirt cheap because nobody wanted a stick shift. It paid off him a new car and paid off for mine. On our way home, I was starving, and they were too. We went to Cracker Barrel, and we're just rejoicing. All of a sudden, Emily starts crying, my daughter-in-law. She was with us, my son. I don't know. You always go to the hospital and take treats to people, but nobody came. I said, Emily, we were in Chicago, and nobody knew we were there. Oh, yeah, right. We go to Cracker Barrel. I went and paid the bill with the money they gave me from the meeting, $50 if I wanted to stop and eat or something like this. Our bill was $40-some. The tip was included. I sent Justin with the money. When he got there, the lady who I won to Christ 2 weeks before that, one of the waitresses, she said, someone just left this $50 bill for you and said to tell the Moffitts we love them. I don't know about you. 2 weeks after that, on a Sunday night, or I don't know, a Sunday, my husband he baptized us at our church on the men's side. That man that was the owner of the cab company walked forward at First Baptist Church, made a public profession of Jesus Christ, and my husband baptized him. On the visitors thing, he said, I had the joy and privilege of taking JoJo to meet her husband at Northwestern when he almost died. I don't know about you, but there's no place like home. I love what the Bible says. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but which is good. The use of edifying, that we minister grace to the healers. And greed, I've used it for both sessions, but on purpose. Going down to number 32. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven you. When I was a little girl, and I would hurt people in the home or anywhere, my dad used to take, if I would tell a lie, if I would smart off. My mother said I never was bad. And my mom was so funny. I wasn't a verbal person, but I'd think it. Do you know what I'm saying? They thought I was Miss Nicey Nice. You're such a bad girl, JoJo. You're so bad yourself, inside. But I never showed it. My mom says she hardly ever got spankings. But something I did get is if I ever talked back or if I would tell a lie, he took out a bar of soap. And it wasn't this kind of soap. It was this kind. Fell's naphtha. And he'd wash your tongue. I still think to this day we need to do some of that. Toward our family and our home. Wash your mouth. James 3:10 says, out of the same mouth proceedeth a blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. There are wins and losses. Words are a means of expressing how you feel. Let's get in the habit of saying good words. Let's get in the habit of complimenting people. I like what you have on, like I just did. What is your name, sweetheart? Ashley? Ashley, would you stand up, Ashley? Do you see Ashley's cute outfit? Could you turn around? Do you see like she made appear like she might be pregnant? I said, oh, that's a cute outfit. And she looked like this. And I thought, JoJo. I said, that's a special outfit. She just looked at me. I thought, she's not pregnant. She's a little heavy and I'm making fun of her. She is pregnant. And I was so glad. Could you see I was a little bit stunned? Like, you are expecting, just pretend and say, yes, you are. No, she is. I did that to a lady at our church one day in the nursery. She was taking children and she just always appeared like she was unhappy. And, that's a little home for my children when they go to the nursery. In the nursery, you can be a joy spreader on a bus round. Sit down, don't say a word. We'll be at church in 45 minutes. Oh, no one's going to ride your bus, I'll tell you. I'm the kind, I lead a song and I pretend I'm winning the song. I'm giving out the candy bar and I'm trying to win my own candy bar. And I am hoarse on Monday morning teaching speech at the college. And then, oh, you can do the craziest things with our mouth. Well, this lady was there in the nursery and I saw her and I said, hi. I thought, she just always seems like she's just kind of sad and I'm just going to bring some joy. I'll try to bring joy to her life. And I said, how are you today? She's fine. Never look at you. Fine. Our kids would have like a little tag with their number on it. And she'd put on the back. One day, my little one got stuck with the pen. And I thought, Count Dracula, like you ride on the broom, you flew in, and, And I said, oh, you didn't do that on purpose. I bet you did. No, she did. And she did. And so she put, and she says, that happens. Where's your child? No, I didn't say that. Can I take him for a little ride? And I didn't do that. And so I said, how are you today? I'm fine. Never looking at me. Fine. I didn't ask that many times. I thought, I'm going to say something complimentary to her. I'm going to find a way to bring joy and enthusiasm and encouragement to this life of ours. Power of words. I said, I knew she was pregnant, had been pregnant. And I said, so when's the baby due? I had the baby 3 months ago. Oh, remember the Empire dresses, the Empire waist dress? I said, well, I should have shut up. I said, well, I didn't know because, I should have said, hey, chunky, you're a little chunky, but I didn't say that. I said, well, I didn't know because the dress was, how you shut up, JoJo. Do you know that up till this year, and that's been over 20 years ago, this woman just has recently been talking to me? If a person's pregnant, don't say anything. Just realize it's wonderful that you're, we don't know people's problems. And we say things to our own kids. Folks, when they go out the door in the morning, it's the last thing they see is you. If you don't have children, pretend the neighbors are your children, the kids there. Be a blessing to them. I don't like my neighbor. My neighbor next door said, one day she said, you have too many kids. And being funny, I said, which one should I get rid of? She didn't laugh. I went, that wasn't a good one. Too many cars. Our kids all drive. They don't have 2018 Lamborghinis. They have cars that almost run, and they're all parked around there. And so I said, I'm sorry. And I said, hey, how are you doing? So one day she said to me, JoJo, I need to coach you. You want to walk? I'll teach you. She's Chinese. I said, okay. Well, I said, you are not Chinese. Do not talk like her. I always feel like I'm of their culture after a while. And then she said, no more. No more. No more. I said, did I not catch up? I came home like a baby. Right. She won't walk with me anymore. I've tried so hard. She had a great need. Her husband passed away. And we got to be there. And we went to the Chicago hospitals. One her to Christ, one her husband to Christ before he died, one the children to Christ. And now she's constantly bringing me over Chinese food. And her Chinese food is food that she'll make, and she sometimes leaves it outside for a while. But she thinks that fermentation is good for your colon. I ate it one day. My colon was so mad at me for several days. Proverbs 8:6-8 says, hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. Just think kind. Think kind. Think kind. Think kind, number 1. 2, be kind. Be a joy spreader. Be a joy spreader. Be a joy spreader, not a manure spreader. Garbage, junk. When you hear a bad report, quickly change the subject, turn it around, find the good, replacement. Mrs. Evans used to call it mind replacement. You replace the subject. Someone starts saying, I remember one time wanting to go with some ladies for lunch. And they seemed so nice. I thought, I'd like to go with them. That would be nice if they'd ever asked me. One day they did, and all of a sudden they said, my husband, he's so stupid he can't do anything. Your husband can do that. Mine's a jerk. And I thought, well, let me tell you about my husband. They hated me because they didn't want to hear that. But it was probably better. They didn't ask me, but I'm still a friend to them to this day today, at a distance. Do kind things for people. Proverbs 31:26 says, she opened her mouth with wisdom, and in the tongue was the law of kindness. Smile, be friendly, pay compliments, learn to laugh. Learn to laugh. Learn to turn the negative comments, negative situations around. Turn the negatives around. Turn the negatives around. Turn the negatives around. It's a lot of fun. It really is. Probably the greatest way I can ever explain about the family is going with my husband. And I was pregnant with Joy. A little peanut here. That's with me. I think it was Joy. If it wasn't Joy, it was one of the 6. And I was going, my husband was going to a wrestling meet to watch our son. I was 9 months pregnant. And by the way, I didn't do so good in my pregnancy. My first baby, 33 pounds. Why stop there? I went to baby 2, 63 pounds. Oh, ladies, you'd be so proud of me. Third baby, 83 pounds. When the baby was born, I said to the doctor, please check there are more. Please tell me there are more. 8 pounds and 10 ounces if there are no more. Please double check. I went home over 200 pounds, weighing from a size 10 to a size 20, and I did it all by myself. I just ate. The night before the kids were born, I ate 6 donuts from Dunkin' Donut, and I was still hungry. My husband said, don't you think you've had enough? No. I'd have eaten the box if it had been closer. You're going to have things like that. Well, that particular baby, by the way, that was the first 3 I learned. The last 3, 19 and a half pounds, 19 and a half pounds, and 19 and a half pounds. And so when he's going to a wrestling meet, he says, you want to go? He says, no, you can't. You're too far along. There's an ice storm. I said, hey, Kimasabi, we're together. If I have the baby, I want you right with me. He says, okay. We get there. Our son's wrestling, undefeated in the championship. They had 3 mats going at the same time. Mat 1, mat 2, mat 3. He's on mat 2, and please understand, you're very pregnant. When I started going up the bleachers, it was like people were going, help her. I sat down, and my son forfeited, and a player forfeited, and they moved my son to the next mat. Well, I didn't know that. I thought, I can see good here. My husband says, you're fine. I'll move over. You're fine. Just stay where you are. You're fine. I said, I can't see. He moved down the bleachers, went to the next mat. Right? Happy? No. I want to watch. I said, sir, help me. So these men, and it was so funny. One was helping me pull my arm up. One's pulling it down, and I'm trying to go down the bleachers. Well, I thought, I want to be, remember the word, as inconspicuous as possible. As I'm walking kind of briskly, because my son is now wrestling, and he's going toward the championship. And I started moving. My husband's up in the bleachers, about 2 rows up. And as I walked, I did not know the next mat was higher than the mat I was on. And I couldn't see. And I'm trying to be inconspicuous, not noticed. As I'm walking and my son's wrestling, I hit the mat. I went flying in the air. Like the flying nun, you know. Ooh! I watched my husband going, well, this was a blessing. There was a man in front of me. And I remember he had on a V-neck sweater. His wife was right ahead of him. And as we're walking, I thought, and I'm flying, I grabbed the man's sweater, ripped it totally down. He turns to see me. I landed on top of the man. His wife turns around and goes, ah! And my husband's like, but my son won the championship. It was like a secret weapon. They used me. In life, you're going to have some victories. You're going to have some defeats. Watch what you say. Watch how you say it. Go be an encouragement and just realize there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Let's go make our homes different. Deal? Deal. I love you.